Thank you for coming back to Rhubarb Yoga again. So hopefully you've made a little bit of progress with your Virabhadrasana 1 and 2. You've learned a little bit of yoga philosophy, even if you perhaps weren't sure about it, or it's not for you. But sometimes it's nice to know the history of something you're trying to immerse yourself into. It might stimulate something, surprise you even, and make you enjoy it just a touch more than you thought. So we are continuing with our warriors today, and we are going to look at the humble warrior, Baddha Virabhadrasana. Humble warrior will be a transition between our warrior 1 to our warrior 2, as we're going to be building up into a sequence after several of these classes, and then you can see how they can work together and you can create a flow for yourself or a vinyasa. So the humble warrior, once you see the shape and the pose, is where Virabhadra has come down, Shiva has raised him from his dreadlock, and he is ready. He has come down, seen Shiva, and he bows. He submisses, and he's waiting for Shiva to command him. And that's from the warrior 1 to the humble warrior. And then the transition from the humble warrior to warrior 2, our Virabhadrasana 2, is where Virabhadra takes aim, sets his enemies, Shiva's enemies, in sight, and is preparing to fight. But another way of looking at our humble warrior can be to submit, to allow, to slightly give in. We're not going to be standing wide and tall and strong. Our legs are supporting us, but our body will be bowing. So we will need a strong foundation while the top of our body comes and bows. So let's have a look, and let me refresh you between the warrior 1 and our warrior 2. So coming to your mat, whichever way you are choosing to start, whether it is back or front, let us start with our warrior 1. So taking our step forward with our strong foot, knee above the ankle, and our back foot angled out, same direction as the top corner of our mat. Looking behind, making sure we have that space. We don't want a tightrope, we want train tracks to encourage balance. So this is our warrior 1. Our pelvis is facing forward and our hip bones. And we are strong. We are Virabhadra. We are ready for Shiva. So coming from this position, we're going to move to our humble warrior. Our humble warrior will lift the back foot up onto the tiptoes, but keeping this strong front leg. Our thighs engaged. We're opening the psoas and the hip flexors. Do not worry if this front leg feels a little weak. Just ease off on that bend for a moment while you're finding your shape. This is the basis for our humble warrior legs. And from the warrior 1 to the warrior 2, we simply turn the back foot and transition. So the humble warrior is a midway point. The most important thing about a humble warrior after our legs is the bow, the arms. So what we will be doing is placing our arms behind our back and interlacing the fingers. So we'll be coming in to a standard interlace. Nothing fancy, nothing expected. If this is too tricky for you, do not worry. Hands on the waist, hands on the thigh are easily adaptations. So let's get into our humble warrior again. Our strong front leg. Our back leg is lifted and we will bow. So we will take our hands behind our back. Arms are pulled down towards the back thigh. This will raise the front of the body, engaging our core and opening our chest, which gives us space to allow us to bow. We need to make sure we have those train tracks between our legs. If the gap is too narrow, your balance will not be what it should be, and you will fall. Nobody wants that. So placing our hands behind on our interlace, we will use the strength of our back leg, engage in those back toes and lean forward. And this for some may be enough, but our true humble warrior will come down and bow. So when you get to this point, if you feel that you need to move that front leg out slightly, please do it. It is better than twisting the body and manipulating around. Twisting that will not do you anything but injury. So again, let's bend that front leg, grounding the front toes, being strong, pushing through that back heel, allowing the chest to come forward. If Virabhadra prepares to bow to Shiva, the arms come up. They don't need to be way up here, please do not worry, but they need to come away from the back of the waist, and this is where we see if we need to adjust our front leg. Our humble warrior bows. Allow the connection between the shoulder and the shin to happen without jamming and forcing. Slide along inside the shin. This can give you a little bit of a foundation. Let the head relax. Push into the front big toe for grounding and allow that back leg to be strong as the arms raise into the air and we bow. Bring the arms down to come out of it. Make it easy on the legs. Bend those knees and give your thighs a big rest. So that is our humble warrior. We have bowed to Shiva. So let's look at the other side of it. Swap other sides so you can see. And we always try to create balance in any pose. So traditionally, we need to change the interlace of the fingers, and this is the only point where it may mess with your mind. If you are more prone to using one arm than the other, generally that goes right hand, right arm, left-handed, left arm. Swap the interlace and see how much it disturbs your mental balance. It is quite peculiar. One simple change that is not our natural predisposition can really be quite unnerving. So let's swap, let's do the other side, and let's make sure we balance by working that leg too. So keeping to this side so you can see it from the inner and the outer working, we're going to step forward using that strong front leg. We're going to turn the back foot out, so we're in our warrior one. The heel is pointed towards the top corner of the mat. This front leg is strong, but the knee is not past the ankle. We want it strong and sturdy. Our hips are facing forward, our pelvis right dead ahead. Let's raise the arms. We are ready. We are Virabhadra. We have come down for Shiva's bidding. Our back leg is strong. Bring the arms down. Lift the back foot and turn it so this front leg does not change, but the angle of the back leg does. Push into full with your toes and expand away from the hip flexor. Feel the strength in the back leg. Activate your calf. That will ground you. And now, let's bring the arms behind and change the interlace. Just one across. And prepare for some slight wobbles. Do not be surprised if your balance is affected by this. It is your unnatural balance because you are changing your natural way. Give yourself a second to find your time. Bring your legs out of their pose for a second. Mentally prepare. Bend the front leg. Ground the back toes. Strengthen through the foot. Check your train tracks. Open the chest and extend the fist and the arms are way down the thigh. Taking that breath in and we bow. Raising the arms away from the back, checking the leg, making sure it's not too far close to the body so we have to change. Change it if so, and then we bow. And find peace in this pose. It may be difficult, but the head and the body are bowing, they are submitting. You have strong foundation. Find calm, find steadiness, find your inner warrior. legs a break. Let's come out of that. So hopefully you might find some enjoyment in that. You are going to feel some thigh burn, there is no doubt. And you may be testing yourself too. Please do not beat yourself up if it doesn't happen straight away. Generally anything that needs a little bit of work and practice doesn't anyway. And we are, after all, human. None of us are perfect, and we're all very, very different. Please enjoy your humble warrior. And maybe you need to bow to it yourself, to give yourself the allowance of coming into it in your own time. Have a go. See if you can do the transition. If you have mastered your warrior 1 and your 2, see if you can drop that humble warrior in between. Remember your breath. Please have fun. After all, it's not serious. It's not a competition. It's just some of us trying to look after ourselves and be better in our hearts and our heads. Please be well.